The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, you beautiful, terrified, highly caffeinated citizens of the Republic. It is Sunday, January 25th, 2026, and you are locked into the Panopticon with the only two people who aren't lying to you for a paycheck, or at least not for a corporate one. I'm Julian Archer, the silver fox who's seen it all and lived to tell the tale.
And I'm Maya Thorne, currently on hour 15 of my daily screen time odyssey because the world is in its terminal velocity collapse era and someone has to keep the receipts. Yesterday was a total fever dream with the Minneapolis occupation and the Fourth Amendment being ratioed out of existence.
Oh, it was a horror show, pure mayhem.
And today is even bigger because we're diving into 10 stories that prove we're either at the start of a massive resistance era or just the mid-season finale of democracy. It's a massive show, people. We're talking the Democratic Party finally getting a glow-up with the bench.
Wait, they actually have a pulse? Is that what the kids call a flex?
No, literally. And we're covering Trump trying to turn Canada into a vassal state, the winter storm that's making everyone go unalive, and the corporate capture of D.C., where the lobbyists are basically running the game. But the main event, the thing that's going to take up most of our headspace today, is the Baltimore miracle.
It is the greatest comeback story since Lazarus, and we're going to tear into whether it's a real blueprint or just a temporary glitch in the Matrix.
Exactly. But first, let's talk about the bench, because for the first time in like forever, the Democrats aren't acting like NPCs in their own story.
Is that right? Are they actually fighting back?
No, literally. They launched this thing called The Bench on January 15th, and it's basically an anti-gatekeeper organization. They're bypassing the DNC fossils to find non-traditional candidates for the 2026 midterms.
Hallelujah. About time they stopped waiting for people to pay their dues in the local swamp.
Right? It's giving actually trying to win vibes. They've got James Tallarico from Texas, who is basically a social media god, and this firefighter in Northeast Pennsylvania, Bob Brooks.
Bob Brooks. I like the sound of that. Sounds like a man who can handle a hose and a Republican talking point without breaking a sweat.
He's the prototype, a working-class professional who doesn't sound like he was grown in a lab at McKinsey. But the party is still in its Civil War era over the vibes. The progressives want to scream about the climate apocalypse.
Which is fair, considering the world is on fire.
True, but the centrists are out here doing all of the above energy because they're terrified of gas prices. It's a high-key mess.
Look at me. They better figure it out fast because Trump is currently trying to start a trade war with Canada? I mean, spare me.
No way. Did you see the Truth Social post?
Oh, I saw it. I almost dropped my scotch. He's threatening 100% universal tariff on everything Canadian because Prime Minister Mark Carney made a trade deal with China. He called him Governor Carney.
No, literally, the governor thing is such a main character move. He's mad because Carney is negotiating for Chinese EVs, and Trump wants Canada to sign on to his Golden Dome missile defense project. It's like, buy my Star Wars reboot or I'll unalive your lumber industry. It is absurd. Canada is our biggest trading partner. You put 100% tariff on them and every consumer in America is going to see the price of a 2x4 or a gallon of gas go through the roof. Right. It's an inflationary suicide mission. Carney Xi Jinping is just an excuse to act like a bully on the world stage. It's the Venmo me for security era of diplomacy, zero riz. And speaking of disasters, Winter Storm Fern is currently ratioing the entire continent.
Is that the one making Texas look like a popsicle again?
No, literally, 230 million Americans are under alerts. It's a 2,900-mile storm because the polar vortex literally collapsed, which the right-wingers are using to say, see, global warming is a hoax while they freeze in their living rooms.
Oh, it makes my blood boil. The planet is warming, the Arctic is melting, and that's exactly why the vortex is wobbling like a drunk in a penthouse.
Wow, that's a very specific image. But yeah, wind chills are hitting -50 in the Midwest, and 9 states have the National Guard out. It's giving infrastructure flop era.
Right?
And while the grid is failing, the political violence is hitting the main stage. Maxwell Frost got assaulted at Sundance.
It was a disgrace, a total disgrace. Frost is the first Gen Z member of Congress. He's Afro-Cuban, and some crasher named Christian Young allegedly punched him in the face after screaming about Trump deporting him.
It's so unserious. I'm scared of being deported, so let me commit a felony against a U.S. rep. The brain rot is terminal.
It's not just brain rot, Maya. It's a national crisis of racial animosity. Park City police are looking at hate crime enhancements because the suspect was bragging about being white in the restroom before the attack. No way. That's literally villain arc behavior. It's scary because Frost represents the intersection of everything the MAGA world hates. And while the streets are getting violent, the suites on K Street are making record bank. Ballard Partners just reported $88 million in revenue. No, literally, that's a 350% increase. It's a total gold rush because every corporation is terrified of being on the wrong side of the administration. Of course they are. Ballard used to employ Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi. It's not lobbying, it's an access subscription model. Right.
Even Harvard hired them to stop the government from nuking their funding? It's the corporate capture of the century. It's giving dystopian pay-to-play vibes. But look, before we get to the Ukraine situation, we need to talk about the people who make this show happen.
Look, we talk a lot about systems on this show, but we need to talk about labor.
Okay.
Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure.
No, literally, it's a grind.
We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of Eric Christensen. He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations.
Right, it's an act of solidarity.
Exactly. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please consider supporting Eric's work. It keeps the lights on and the servers running.
That support Eric so we don't have to hire Ballard Partners to stay on the air.
God forbid. Now, speaking of the global stage, Ukraine is entering a city in the dark era.
It's so grim. Russia launched almost 400 drones and missiles in one day, targeting the grid in minus 20-degree weather.
It is cruel. There is no other word for it.
And while Kiev is freezing, Jared Kushner is in Abu Dhabi doing peace talks?
Spare me. Jared and Steve Witkoff, the real estate diplomacy team. It's a trilateral talk with Russia and Ukraine that completely bypasses the State Department.
Right?
It's a personalized high-level track where the fate of millions is negotiated like a condo sale in Miami.
It's so chuggy to think you can solve a generational conflict with a private handshake in a UAE hotel. But then again, this administration is doing the same thing to our health.
The vaccine schedule, Maya. This is the one that really gets me.
No, literally. RFK Jr. and the CDC are dismantling the routine childhood vaccines. They took 6 long-standing shots, hepatitis, flu, rotavirus, and put them into this shared clinical decision-making category.
Which means insurance might not cover them soon.
Right. And they're calling it the Denmark model, which is high-key a lie. Denmark doesn't do this. We're becoming a global outlier.
Wow.
We are literally inviting the measles comeback tour to our shores for medical freedom. It's such a flop era for public health.
It's a war on the future, and they're doing it while trying to kill the Senate blue slip so Trump can appoint his personal lawyers like Alina Habba as U.S. attorneys.
Alina Habba? Is she going to represent the government with the same success she had in court last year?
I'm telling you, if they kill the blue slip, it's total judicial consolidation. The Senate becomes a rubber stamp for the fixers.
Right. It's the citizenship as a speedrun era. I saw a ceremony in Illinois with 98 people from 31 countries. It's the ultimate act of resilience.
It really is. But Maya, we have to talk about the lead story. We have to talk about Baltimore.
Finally, let's talk about a city that's actually winning.
I'm telling you, Baltimore has officially done the impossible. For decades, we heard the wire stereotypes. 300 plus homicides a year. It was the poster child for failure.
Right. But the 2025 numbers are, they're literally insane.
133 homicides in 2025? That's down from 201 the year before. A 33% drop.
It's a generational shift.
Since Mayor Brandon Scott took office, it's a 60% decline in shootings and murders. They're calling it the greatest comeback story in American history. And for once, I think they might be right.
Okay, but Julian, we need to be clear about why it happened. Because the GOP wants to say it's about toughness, but it's actually the GVRS, the Group Violence Reduction Strategy.
Look at me. The GVRS works because it identifies the 1% of the population responsible for the violence and gives them a very clear ultimatum. You can take the help, the jobs, the housing, the therapy, or you can take the hammer.
See, there you go with the hammer again. You're such an institutionalist.
Because it works, Maya. You need the threat of the state to make the help meaningful.
No, literally, you're missing the entire vibe. The reason Baltimore is winning isn't because some kid is scared of a hammer. It's the Safe Streets violence interrupters.
Oh, spare me.
No, listen, it's people who actually live in those neighborhoods. former gang members, community leaders who are stepping in before the trigger is pulled. They're treating it like a public health crisis, not a policing crisis.
Right, but you can't have one without the other. The Baltimore model is a both-and strategy. You need the coordination with law enforcement to identify the groups.
But that's the problem. If you give the cops the credit, you just fund more cops who then go and unalive civil rights. The credit belongs to the community-driven intervention.
Look, the juvenile homicide victims dropped by 78%. 78%. You don't get that kind of drop by just vibing in the neighborhood. You get it by the police and the social workers sitting in the same room and saying, we know who the shooters are and we're going to stop the cycle.
It's giving surveillance state even if the results are good. I'm telling you, the police part of GVRS is the part that's going to get weaponized by the next MACA mayor who wants to use those same lists to round people up. Oh, Maya, you're so cynical. It's a success story. The homicide rate is the lowest it's been in decades. People can actually walk to the corner store without a tactical vest. No, literally, that's great. But we have to talk about the sustainability, because right now it's being funded by grants and specific city initiatives. What happens when the Golden Dome missile defense program sucks up all the federal funding and Baltimore gets ghosted?
Well, that's why the democratic reconstruction matters. We need to take this model and make it the national standard.
Right.
Imagine if we spent $13 billion, not on brilliant pebbles in space, but on the Baltimore GVRS in every city from St. Louis to Memphis.
Now that would actually slap. But instead, we're out here subpoenaing gas station footage in Kentucky to track people going for abortions. It's the ultimate contrast.
Right?
It's one city is using data to save lives, and the rest of the country is using data to play the Handmaid's Tale. It's high-key embarrassing.
Look at me. This is the choice in 2026. Do you want the Baltimore model of public health and intervention, or do you want the surge zone model of checkpoints and Fourth Amendment ratioing?
It's the resilience era versus the paramilitary era, and Baltimore is the only thing keeping me from deleting my account and moving to a cabin in the woods.
You wouldn't last 10 minutes in a cabin without 5G, Maya. You'd be screaming for a TikTok feed within the hour.
That's a low blow, Julian, but probably true. I'd be trying to ratio a squirrel within 2 days.
This squirrel has major NPC energy. Flop era for the oak tree. I can hear it now.
Shut up. But seriously, Baltimore proves that tough on crime is a dead ideology. It's chuggy, it's mid, it doesn't work.
It's more than mid. It's a failure. We've spent 40 years locking people up, and the violence only stopped when we started treating people like human beings.
No, literally, what a concept. Treating people like humans saves lives. Who would have thought?
Apparently not the GOP. Anyway, what a show. We've covered the governor of Canada, the vaccine apocalypse, and the one bright spot in Maryland.
Right? It's a lot to process. I need to go lie in a dark room and look at memes for 3 hours to recover my soul.
Just make sure they're Baltimore success memes. We are out of time, Patriots. Stay sharp, stay loud, and don't let the polar vortex take your spirit.
And for the love of everything, if you see Ted Cruz at the airport in a parka, do not, I repeat, do not give him your seat.
He can fly, coach. See you in the Panopticon.
Bye. Seriously, check your screen time. It's a jump scare. Anyway, we're done.
Good night, America.
Wait, did we mention the gas station subpoenas again?
Tomorrow, Maya. Tomorrow. We're out.